Howdy, howdy, howdy. So, today, got the cowboy hat on. I am in Los Angeles, again, at work. Normally takes me just over 2.5 hours. Not 2.5, just over 2 hours to get to my delivery every day. And it took me 3.5 today. So I don't know what's going on, LA. What's happening? Everybody's just slow. Gatorade! Alright. A little bit fiery today. I don't know why I have extra energy, but I do. One, I'm going to respond to some comments, stupid comments, on the channel. And two, I don't know, maybe ramble about something. Yeah, I know what I'll do. I said earlier I will talk about this one relationship I had where the woman that thrived on conflict, always wanted to pick an argument out of something. If I don't finish the video before they call me up there to get delivered, I'll just have to edit the video and start where I leave off. But we'll see what happens. But first, I need to respond to a couple different comments. I did respond in the comment section, but things need to be elaborated on sometimes. So, you ever drink Gatorade and it leaves like a little thing in your throat, like the sugar just sits like a syrup? It sucks. I think it tastes great though. So one, I did get a couple of comments when I did that Dating is Hopeless video. Of course, you'll get the "you're a simp" comment and blah blah blah. Or, it's a bunch of incel bullshit. I know some people might assume that this channel, just because it's a guy, I hope it's not going to get too hot in here. It's kind of warm. Just because it's a guy with a beard and a cowboy hat talking about relationships with women and this and that, a lot of people might assume that this is a red pill channel, and it's not. It's honestly going to be more of an anti-red pill thing. Now, I think some of red pill, I'll make a video about this, but I think some of red pill is good. But I think there's a lot of big issues with red pill. So that's not what this channel is. Sorry if that's your assumption. It's just not. That's not who I am. But also not incel either. I'm not. I don't understand. It'll be a video. But I got a comment on here from a couple different. It's like two different people. One was a guy and one was a woman. Where that video I talk about where dating is hopeless. Basically saying it's funny how you say you did everything right and the women did everything wrong. You're a walking red flag. I was called a walking red flag. Here's the thing. That's the point of the video. Was that you can be that guy that does everything right. You can be that guy that did the work, went to therapy. You can be that guy that looked at his shortcomings and fixed them and learned what a healthy relationship is and focus on that and refuse to be with someone who doesn't fit what you think you need in your life, which is a good, most emotionally and mentally stable woman who supports you and actually wants to be around you. But you got to put that work in too to be a good man. I've done that work. I have done that. Now, I was half the problem in my marriage. I have a video I'll do on that, on why it failed, and the problems and issues that I brought to that. But after that, I fixed myself. I healed up. I fixed myself. Sorry. I don't know. I'm not going to say I did anything wrong when I didn't do anything wrong. Now, those women that I did talk about, well, the thing is that the women that I did talk about in that video is me saying you can be that guy, and not even just all that. You can be somebody that's 6 feet tall. You can be somebody that looks at least okay. You can be somebody with a great voice. Accent. They like the accent. Everybody likes the accent. I know it looks like I'm cross-eyed because I'm looking over here sometimes. And fit. I mean, shit, man. Some guy got on there trying to tell me that I wasn't fit. What? I know damn well that I look better than 99% of guys, especially my age. Don't even. All right. So, all right, there's that. You can be that guy that's fit, make good money, somebody tried to say I was like scraping by, didn't have a good income. I'm sorry. I don't think you understand how much truckers can actually make. And that's not the only money I make. Now, I'm not defending myself. I'm proving a point here, is that you can be that guy with all those qualities and you will still see dismal results in the dating scene in 2025. That was the point of that video. That you can be the guy that is the impossible dating standards women have. You can be that guy that's healed from relationships and traumas and worked on yourself and be a healthy relationship focused person, and you'll still see terrible results in dating in 2025. That was the point of that video. So yeah, I was saying I did these things right and these women did these things wrong. Now, every woman that I talked about in that video was not doing something wrong. I never said that. There was two of them that did things wrong. There's one, the one I went on a couple of dates with, and she lied, posted me on already dating the same guy, went psychotic, just flipped out over nothing. And I blocked her and left and rejected her, and she got mad about it. That's problematic behavior. Sorry. What do you want me to say? That's problematic behavior. I didn't do anything to spur that on. Okay. And then two, the one that I'm going to talk about right now was the one that thrived on conflict. Now, there's a reason people do this. Men do it too. But usually it's because they were in past relationships that were shitty. It's getting warm in here. Sorry, I'm going to put the window down. It might be a little loud sometimes. But these are women that, and men, but I'm talking about women, that went through problematic relationships in the past. And in this particular case, she had been married to a guy. She was with him for years and years and years. Was married to this guy. Had one kid with him. Now she made pretty good money. Like, I make okay money. She made pretty much twice what I made. Good. That's honestly what I was looking for. I was looking for somebody that had independence and had their own career and goals. That's what I want. So found that. Good. She had a great job. And since she made so much money and her husband had not, when they divorced, I don't know why she didn't fight this, but the man took the house, he took the truck, he took the boat, he took alimony, he got 50% custody of the kids, and I think he might have gotten something else. ATVs, like the side-by-side ATVs, got all this stuff. Took it all from her. I don't know why she didn't fight it, but anyway, if you're a man and you do that, you're just a pathetic little worm piece of shit. You're pathetic. That's if you take anything from a woman, you're pathetic. You're a fucking man. Be a man. Work for your shit. Sorry. Might have been a little passionate there, but that's how I feel. And I let her know that. That's how I feel. Like, that guy's a piece of shit. She's like, yeah, he was a piece of shit. So after this guy, obviously she was resentful of men because of this. And apparently they argued a lot. But she then apparently ended up in a relationship with a narcissist. That's what they all say, right? Obviously there was a lot of conflict and arguments in that relationship too. So she brought that resentment, and I guess I could say trauma, into our relationship. Now, we dated for just over 3 months during the spring and summer of 2023, the year I first moved here. So people that thrive on conflict, they constantly pick arguments. It's because they're not comfortable with healthy relationships. They're not comfortable when everything's going okay, because that's not what they're used to. They're used to conflict. They're used to people mistreating them. They're used to people picking arguments with them and yelling at them, abusing them. They're used to people being pieces of shit. And they bring that into a relationship, and if that relationship's going fine, they get uncomfortable. So in order to get back to their comfort zone, which is stress and being tense and arguing, they pick arguments out of nothing. And here's the first real argument that we had was, I remember she asked me something like asked me like, what was the last serious relationship I was in? At this point, it had been like 8 months or 9 months or something like that. And I was like, it was about 8 or 9 months ago. And I think I said, like, it was like, I think the end of summer, maybe it was like July is what I said, because I thought it was the end of summer. It was the end of summer. It was July. I don't know. Somehow she found the video, or not a video, but found the Instagram of the girl that I had dated before. And the girl had apparently forgotten to delete one picture of us. And this bothered the girl I was currently dating, the conflict girl. I'll call her conflict girl. This bothered her, even though it had nothing to do with us. I can't help she didn't delete a picture. But it was from the beginning of September. And she was like, "You lied." And I was like, okay, so we were together beginning of September. We split up right after that. That was the end of the summer. I did say it was the end of the summer. I was just off by a month or so. I think I'd say it was like July or August, which is 1 month off. Okay, so she's like, "No, you lied." I'm like, sorry, I made a mistake. It was off. It was the end of the summer. And then she's like, "Well, I don't remember. It was something like there were comments that I had made on other posts just after that. It was right before we split up. And I was like, yeah, I mean, the comments are there. I don't remember making those comments. Like, I honestly didn't remember making the comments on those pictures. It's some drama shit, you know? But she was just accusing me of lying. And I was like, look, I made a mistake. I was off by a month or so. Okay? Sorry. I can't. Can you just drop it? And so she did. But later on, I remember we were going to a birthday party for her friend. We were at the birthday party, and she was a drinker, so she drank a lot. And she told me she's a mean drunk that night. So we get to this party, and she's like, "I'm gonna drink, and we're gonna fight about something." And I'm like, "What are we gonna? What? Why? Why would we do? Why?" So automatically, anxiety through the roof. Why? What are we gonna fight about? I don't understand why you would even want to do that. She said, "That's just how I am. I drink and I get mean, and we're gonna fight." I'm like, "Oh fuck, okay, great." So yeah, a couple of drinks in, she brings this up again. It was like, "If you admit you lied, I'll drop it." I'm like, God, I didn't lie. So it was like, it got to a point, she just kept egging it on, and she was getting weird about it in public. And I'm like, all right, cool, I lied. You know, if that'll get you to stop and drop it, I lied. Done. Not done. She got even more just laid in. She's like, "How'd that feel to be caught in a lie and do this and that?" And I'm like, I said I would say I was lying so that you would drop this and we would just move on from it. Please stop. We got in her car. We're gonna go back to my place. She cornered me in her car, was yelling at, or not, yeah, she was kind of yelling at me. Finally, I just snapped. I'm like, "Look, this is some bullshit. You can just drop this shit right now. I'm over it. I'm leaving. I'm out." I got out of her car. She'd been drinking. I got out of my car and went to my apartment. So of course I get this text saying, "You shouldn't leave me here. I've been drinking this and that." I'm like, maybe you just needed to drop the fucking stupid argument that you picked. I don't need to deal with that. Like, that's pointless. I made a mistake. I was a month off. That was not a lie. But anyway, wouldn't drop it. So there was that. Not long after, I wanted to just leave then, but she, next day, let's just make up. All right, cool. Maybe it was just a fluke. About a month later, we went camping. I remember something about, we were just, again, drinking. I wasn't drinking a lot. I actually wanted to go to sleep. I was tired to sit up at camp. We'd gone paddle boarding. It was hot. I wanted to go to sleep. She didn't want to go to sleep. She wanted to stay up and drink. And I was like, okay, I'll drink some. I pulled out some whiskey, sipping on whiskey. And then we get into talking about the past relationships. And I explained, like, the last girl I dated was the BPD girl. And since that relationship was so toxic, it makes you question future relationships. Like, just looking at them from an outside perspective almost. Saying, is this healthy? You question things. Even if it is going good, you're just like, hey, I just want to make sure that what I'm looking at is healthy, and what I'm doing is healthy, what you're doing is healthy, things like that. That's a healthy thing to say, right? For some reason, she got very offended by this. She's like, nobody wants to hear that. I don't understand why she got offended by it, but she wanted to drop it then, and I was like, okay, but that's something that you need to be able to talk about. Like, this isn't even something you should be bothered by. This is me saying, hey, you look at every relationship after a toxic relationship and you say, is this healthy? And I was like, I don't know, there's no problem here. There was a problem. But she did, again, we spent 30 minutes that night bickering. And I just like, she went to bed, and then I went to bed later, woke up, everything hunky-dory the next day. Whatever. Eventually, she wanted, I was talking about my next book was going to be written in LA, or set in LA. I wanted to take a trip to LA. So she's like, well, let's go to LA. She paid for everything. She's like buying the tickets, rental car, and all that. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with you buying everything. She's like, why? Does that not make you feel like a man? I'm like, it's not that. It's just I want to contribute. She's like, I'm treating you. I'm treating you. I'm Aladdin. You're Jasmine. That's a weird thing to say to a man. That's emasculating, for one. So I don't like that. I didn't have a problem with being treated to something, but if I'm sitting here like, I'm not comfortable with this, I don't. And it was because of her. She had like this resentment of men and almost like a superiority complex because she made good money and she threw it in my face a lot of the time. And I'm like, I understand you make more money than I do. It doesn't bother me until you start throwing it in my face. So that's what she was doing. She was flaunting her money to me and it was emasculating. And it made me uncomfortable. And I let it be known, this makes me uncomfortable. We go on the trip to LA. The whole day, on the travel there, the airport, the flight, everything, she's just being just horrible. Like, just being rude. I'm not going to say, being the B word, whatever it is. She was. And we finally get to the hotel. She's complaining about the hotel that she booked. She's like, I don't like this place. This is the dark room. It's not looking at the water. It's not doing that. I'm like, you booked this place. And she was like, well, why didn't you step up and have a suggestion? I was like, you said you were treating me. I told you I was uncomfortable with it all. Can I just contribute some? You said no. And now that we're here, you want me to contribute? She's like, just shut up and find us a place to eat. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? At this point, I was just over it. I was done. What is up? So we had that. Obviously, that became a fight. It's about her just being horrible to me for no reason when I didn't do anything. And I'm like, it got to a point where she told me to just shut up. And I remember saying, why don't you just shut up? And she gave me this look like I had cursed her entire life. And I was like, yeah, it does, sucks to hear, doesn't it? So why would you say it to me? But yeah, it became a thing where she was like, we're going out to eat. I guess she found somewhere to eat. And she was like, we're going out to eat. And I was like, I'm not going anywhere with you right now. I don't want to be around you. I just don't. And she's like, either get up, get dressed to go eat, or get out. And I was like, okay, all right. I grabbed my bag and I got up to leave, and she got in my way, wouldn't let me leave. And I'm like, now you're in my way. Now you're blocking me to exit. Like, you told me to leave if I didn't want to go out to eat. I'm trying to leave. It was that much. It was crazy. It was nuts. And eventually she left and then texted me. It was like, I talked to my friend about everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you didn't need to talk about your friend about anything. You were being the problem here. And she's like, come out, let's have a drink. Again, drinking. Come out to this place, we'll have a drink. I'm like, I don't want to go out to drink with you because you are going to continue this stupid argument if you're drinking. No, I won't. I won't do it. Okay, I'm going to prove you right. So I met her at the bar. 5 minutes in, she's trying to get it riled up again. And at this point, I was like, I'm not doing this. We're not. We're done. We're not doing it. Of course, I can't really go anywhere. We're in LA, unless I just book another flight out of there. So it's like, I just got to deal with it. I just got to deal with this shit. So we had one more day there. And I don't remember what we were doing. We were going to like the market there, the Griffin Observatory, and all this other stuff. And she was just being adversarial again. I don't even remember. It got to a point where it was like gaslighting. I don't remember what she was saying, but I was like, you're gaslighting me. You're trying to get me riled up again. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm not doing it. So at this point, I just had refused to argue by that point. And we went anyway, the trip ended, and I think we were together probably another couple weeks, and we split. I was like, that's when I was like, I'm anxious. I can't be around you. Every time I'm around you, I think you're going to argue with me over something that didn't need to be an argument. Didn't even need to be anything. So I can't do this. And we split up. So that was it. That's a person that thrives on conflict. And yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm not absolving myself of accountability. I'm saying some people are just like this. Some people they're just not good in relationships. They have not worked on their stuff, and they will abuse you. And they will accuse you of being the bad guy when they were being a problem the entire time. And if you have the gall to call them out on it, if you have the nerve to argue back and defend yourself, then you're a horrible person. And that was the type of person this was. And I'm assuming she probably is still that type of person, because I've seen her pop up on the apps a couple of times at this point, and she's more and more bitter in the profile every time. Like, she'll delete the profile and she'll pop up again, and I'll see the profile again. There's less stuff on there, and it'll be like, hate being here. I'm like, you need to work on yourself. I'm still on the profile. Well, I know, actually, I deleted the profiles. I deleted the apps a couple of weeks ago. So I need a break. I need a break from them. But like, my profile stayed the same the whole time. It's witty, it's funny, it's specific about who I am. I don't say everything about what I've done, because I've done so many little things in my life that, like, I've been accused of catfishing before, because I'm a handsome guy, and then they're like, oh, published author, oh, you play guitar, oh, you make good money, you're fake. It's like, I can't win. You can't win. But that was the whole point of the other video that I did. Dating in 2025 is horrible and hopeless, because you can be that guy that's way above average. Me, I know I'm above average, and the guy, and you'll still have bad results. And I know I'm above average. Women tell me I'm above average. I know I'm a self-aware person. Guys in the comments are telling me, you're above average. You're a good-looking guy, and you're getting way more dates than most of us. Like, yeah, I know that. And the women that I talked about in that video, that was probably 20% of the women that I've actually been on dates with. Those were just the short relationship type things, and why they didn't work out, for whatever reason. But I get tons of matches. Like, right now I'm in LA. I don't have the apps right now. I could make a profile. I would be here overnight, and if I wanted to, I could open up Bumble, and the first 5 swipes would be matches. I'm not even exaggerating. That's how it's been. Now, I wasn't swiping here in LA for the most part, unless I just had a habit. And in Salt Lake, it was a little less so, because I was there more. So, the pickings got slimmer. And I'm a very picky person. I don't swipe on a lot of people. But yeah, here in LA, there's a lot of women. The times I would pull up those apps and swipe, 75% of the swipes, at least for the first little bit, would be matches. So I know I'm getting a lot more matches than most people, because it's like 40 swipes per one match or something like that is average, and I'm getting 4 out of 5 swipes as a match for me. I know I'm above average, but that's what makes it so sad and hopeless, because I know most men aren't 6 feet tall. Most men aren't fit like I am. Most men don't look as good as me, and I hate sounding conceited. I think y'all know what I'm trying to say, is most men don't make as much money as I do. And I'm still having a tough time. I'm still having a bad time. And a couple of comments actually on that video were the same thing. One guy was like 6'4", fit, athletic, more fit than I am, makes good money, has a better car than I do, owns a home, and he still can't find someone. Dating apps are a fucking atrocious invention. They really are. I've deleted the apps. I don't know if I'll ever get back on them. Because all I've met on there are women that are wishy-washy, don't know what they want, or traumatized and haven't worked through their shit, or they're freaking psychopaths. That's what I've met on dating apps. Women, I haven't met a woman since 2010. 2010 was the last woman I met in, just organically in person. We were at film school. That's how I met my ex-wife. We were together for 10 years. Now, that relationship had a lot of problems. I had a lot of problems. I was not a mature person. But before that, dating apps weren't a thing. I met every woman in person before that, and they were decent relationships. They didn't work out because maybe I moved or went to school. My very first girlfriend broke up with me because I went in the Army. But it was an okay relationship. It's just, I want to meet people in person now. I'm over the apps. I might eventually get curious again and open them up, see what it's like. But I'm over it. I'm done. I want to meet women in person. I don't really know how I'm going to do that yet. I'll figure that out. But that's it. you know. I'll do a different video responding to a couple other comments because they were just like stupid and trolling or crazy. But yeah, that's the video for today. You can be that guy, the above average guy that's emotionally mature, mentally stable, done the work, went to therapy, make good money, and you'll still run into women who will treat you like you're not enough. Because some women have not worked on themselves enough to be secure and be able to validate themselves internally. So they push all that problem onto you. They project all of their insecurities onto you. You could do everything right and still you're a problem. That's the reality of being a man. Is that depressing? Yes. Is it reality? Yeah. But we need to know how to deal with it. Maybe that's a video. Y'all have a good one.